एक premise है, there's a woman who's most probably working, right? She's a working woman and she decides कि a nuclear family is what she wants to do. उसको अपने पति के साथ अलग घर में रहना है because the joint family structure is not working for her. And understandably so. लेकिन फिल्म की एंड की तरफ ऐसा लगने लग जाता है कि she is wrong to want this. Hi, I am Pratiksha and you're listening to my review of तू झूठी मैं I'm kidding. You're listening to my review of जरा हटके जरा बच के. One thing about this film is that it would have been a better film if it was थोड़ा ज़्यादा हटके. ये सेटिंग हम पहले देख चुके हैं. It's a middle class family. It's a middle class Brahmin family. They have a house of their own. The couple is Kapil and Soumya. So Kapil's family essentially is who they live with और उनके extended family से भी दो लोग आके रह रहे हैं उनके घर में with their kid. This obviously has led to problems in their marriage. The thing is कि now to solve this, Soumya ने कपिल को बोला कि let's go live अलग से and उसमें a lot of things happen. In Vicky Kaushal's previous film, I think called Love Per Square Foot, there was the issue that they had to kind of swerve around the law a little to get a ghar, right? In this, being married is not helping them get a ghar. So eventually divorce हो जाता है, जुदाई हो जाती है, a lot happens in that story also. The good thing about the film is कि Kapil and Soumya, played by Vicky Kaushal and Sara Ali Khan, are immensely believable as a married couple, especially as ones जो पहले college sweethearts थे, now they're married, and उनके बीच का जो spark है hasn't gone away because of said the routine of married life or living in that joint family. इस सब के बीच वो ऐसे scheme शुरू करते हैं, something that is very common in Lakshman Utekar's films, how to get a makan. Vicky Kaushal's performance is pretty believable. He's very endearing. I feel like this is a role he could do in his sleep. He's also done a very similar role earlier with Bhumi Pednekar in his previous film. And Sara Ali Khan's performance is much better than what we have seen from her, like in her previous recent films. When she has to be funny, she is pretty fun. When she has to be endearing, she's pretty endearing. Both of them have decent chemistry for this film to work. So that's a great thing. Uske upar, the supporting cast is also excellent. They have, I think, specifically chosen people who are good comic actors and that works for the film. Issue ये है कि film में comedy उतनी ज़्यादा है नहीं. The things that we are supposed to find funny are not very funny. Now the issue with Soumya is that, not the issue with Soumya, Soumya's issue is that she's living in this family और उसके पास time ही नहीं है उसके और उसके पति के पास to actually have a marriage. And also Kapil's family is just upset at her for random things. मतलब गलती से अंडे वाला केक खिला दिया तो लाइक वो सब अब हमारे बेटे को बर्बाद कर देगी kind of mindset. So you get why she wants to move out. Now ज़रा हटके ज़रा बच के has a good premise. The premise is pretty interesting, but वो उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा बढ़ नहीं पाती है. Okay, sure, the setting has been seen before, a middle class family that essentially, is too stuck in their outdated views. All of that happens. Minority characters that don't get the due that they should. We have all seen this before. And that is why I said कि फिल्म में अगर कुछ हटके ज़्यादा होता, it would have stood out as a film. The screenplay does not go anywhere proper. First half is interesting because it's a little fun and there are bits that are actually genuinely smart. But the second half becomes extremely melodramatic. It's as if Bagban had a makeover at some point to make us feel like you're actually critiquing the patriarchy that these two exist in, and then go a route that does not make sense for either of their characters is perhaps the film's worst problem. The film is fun in bits, that I will admit. There are parts where the film is fun, there are parts where the film is even funny sometimes, but those parts are not enough to kind of hold it together as a film on its own. Lakshman Utekar's cinema has that kind of part where he wants to talk about social ills, right? And I think Mimi did that much better. I would also say this whole home, fake marriage, the AU thingy was better in Luka Chupi, right? And I guess that's the main problem, that Lakshman Utekar's previous films have done these things better than it did in this film. And I don't think that Vicky or Sara or the supporting cast's combined performance even was enough to uplift this film. The music in the film is rather forgettable. Like theater में आप देखोगे तो गाने सुन के मजा आएगा, but you won't take anything home. It's not catchy. There's nothing that you'll remember in the film as such. I mean, if that's your kind of music, you might have fun, but overall, it's not that memorable. The film is loud in places. कहीं-कहीं characters randomly चिल्लाते हैं. It's fine for comic effect, एक बार, दो बार, तीन बार, fine. But after one point, तुम्हारी हालत खराब हो जाती है कि क्यों चिल्लाना है. There is at points where you're like, oh, the film is becoming bigger than it is. Maybe it will talk about something more, but it doesn't. Some of the film's dialogues are pretty smart. They're pretty interesting. एक जगह पे love triangle की जगह love त्रिकोण use होता है, which did make me laugh a little bit. And yet, since the actors are so good in the film, you find yourself getting a little invested in the film, but there's no payoff. and for that reason my rating for Zara Hatke Zara Bach Ke is 2.5 stars out of 5.